Hey, this is Isaac,
This is Taryn.
and we are
True Masters of Morons. Playing
Horizon Zero Dawn. Last time we got into this place. This time we're gonna keep listening to all of the stories because you know we have the time. It's fine.
There's a lot, and we want the information, and it's all super fascinating.
Look, let's cut the mystery. You're building a colony ship. It's obvious. And it's not gonna fly. I mean, literally. Remember the Odyssey? That multinational heap of space junk that's been in graveyard orbit since 57? That went nowhere real slow. And you have to get somewhere real fast. Do you have any idea the immensity of the challenge to prep a new colony ship in time?
To be clear, I'm not a worker on the project.
Do you even understand how few people it could save? The whole generation ship concept is not gonna happen. It's the first thing you'd abandon in favor of embryonics. For that kind of storage, we're talking a lot of bulk, a lot of power, a lot of resources. So even if you do it, even if you build it and point it at Sirius X, there's no room for people on that thing, all right?
If you could try to remain calm.
You people are crazy if you think you're getting off this rock. No one's getting off.
Medical.
You're right. We're not. We actually explicitly said that in the first room.
I'm pretty sure he did say, yeah, like orbit and all that sort of stuff isn't an option. But I do love he's like, oh, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, to be clear, I'm not on the project. Like, which tells me the poor counselors who have to sit through and deal with all these people don't even know what the actual answer is.
Might not know the answer, yeah.
Which would be so rough. Man, the
There's
compartmentalization
more stuff
happening in
up
this thing. What was that?
There's more stuff up there that I totally missed. My bad. Because I jumped down to kill these people.
Like, to be fair, you were dealing with imminent threats to your life.
To my life.
To your life. She climbs that ladder so weird because it's the only thing not designed like that in this game. Alright, show me what you got. Dr.
There is some mistake. I don't understand why I was brought here. Why would you show me these things?
Because you have skills.
Because we need you?
In the waiting area, I was seated with a Nobel laureate in biophysics and a monk, I think. He spoke neither English nor Mandarin. It is very strange. And General Harris? What was he talking about? The robot swarm, the pharaoh plague? I understand it is terrible. But it really cannot be stopped? Why tell us this? There are people in Shanghai, my friends, my family. They have joined Operation Enduring Victory already. It is for nothing? We will all die?
No, not for nothing. For this plan.
We're going to be able to answer some of his questions.
I just want to know why I am here. It doesn't make sense to me.
You were brought here because of your skill set.
I'm like, through the next room, that'll be explained.
I am an art historian. I know Dutch masters, Japanese calligraphy, Gerhard Richter. What does that matter now?
Preservation.
That's a good question.
Well, you know, I'd been assuming we were doing like a cryostasis thing, like, you know, something like that, some sort of long-term bunker situation.
Like that's what explains what we are.
Right. And that's the big reason why, is we are clearly a her clone.
Right.
So it's assuming there's some version of stasis, cloning, whatever going on.
Data intact. Initiating
Now,
playback.
cloning wouldn't help with things like that, with the historical information.
Exactly.
But,
You've heard the bad news, and it's all true. The Pharaoh Plague is devouring the biosphere. Life itself will cease to exist. But does that have to be the end? What if we could give life a future? What if we could build a kind of seed from which, on a dead planet, life could blossom anew?
we know that's what her
This is the
robots are
aim,
for. It's up
the
to
hope
facilitate
of
growth.
Project Zero Dawn. To create a super intelligent, fully automated terraforming system and bring life back from lifelessness.
So that is what her robots are for. It's a
What
terror.
That's
Such a
literally
system
what
require?
her robots are doing.
At its core, it would need a true AI, fully capable of making the
Ah,
trillions
told
of
you.
decisions necessary to reconstitute the biosphere. An immortal guardian, devoted to the reflourishing of life.
Oh my gosh,
We
all
call
those
it
people are being
Gaia.
chunked into one
Mother
AI.
Nature as an
Yeah,
AI.
we need your
that's
entire,
just the
all of
core
your
of the
processing
system.
everything.
She will need to be surrounded and empowered by a comprehensive suite of subordinate functions.
Oh my
Think of them
gosh.
as extensions of Gaia's
Wow.
mind, each dedicated to a specific purpose.
You are all going to be digitized and turned into
Now,
subroutines.
these aren't AIs, but make no mistake. Each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn. The construction of underground facilities to hold it all. And that's just the start.
Hephaestus was there.
We don't
Yep.
have to build the entire system.
They're all
The
named.
beauty
Look,
of a fully automated
Hades,
terraforming
Apollo.
system is that it can build itself.
the Greek versus
Now,
Egyptian
over the days to
pantheon.
come, you'll learn how all these functions, all these pieces that you'll be working on, fit together.
Yikes. Look at that
How we'll
ticker.
race the clock to execute our harvest initiatives,
Wow.
write the software, build the tech and the
They
facilities.
just need to get it started so that it can keep going.
How we'll lock it down and seal it up before the inevitable occurs. But even more important, you'll know how it doesn't end here. How Gaia will generate those deactivation codes General Harris talked about.
Yes, I knew it.
And
I
build the
knew it.
transmission arrays to broadcast them, shutting down the Pharaoh robots for good.
The Tallnecks, you think?
How Gaia will not just
Yeah.
build, but imagine any conceivable robot it needs to do its work across centuries.
See?
From detoxifying the Earth's ravaged atmosphere and poisoned seas, to the regreening of the Earth from cryopreserved seed stalks, to rewilding the Earth with animal life. And then, when all that is done, how a new generation of human beings, spawned at cradle facilities around the globe, will partake of Apollo, the vast archive of human knowledge and cultural achievement from which they will learn of us,
So something got
our
messed
world,
up.
Yeah.
and most important, how not to repeat our mistakes.
And we know something's
It's
messing
not
with
an
the overall
impossible
AI.
dream. It is within our grasp.
It's
if we
Hades,
work tirelessly
right?
And stop
Isn't
at
that the name of the bad
nothing to
guy?
achieve it.
Yeah. Oh, was Hades
We
on that
can't
list? I
stop
didn't
life.
know.
Hades was on that list.
But if you will help me, help Gaia, we can give it a future. Join me and help make that future real.
I'm gonna wait
Yeah.
till they're done here in case Silence is gonna say something.
The whole Earth destroyed, but then remade?
Yes. By a machine. A machine of creation.
Elizabeth did this. For life, for us. But why Hades then? If it was part of Gaia, how did it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh robot? And why does it want to kill me? And Apollo, the archive of knowledge, what happened to that?
I'm as confused as you are.
Yeah. Okay. So
Maybe the answers lie ahead.
So
Yeah,
Hades, whatever
Hades-
Hades was, it broke free and is now running Pharaohbots, it seems like.
Or got tapped by the Pharaoh robots
Oh, the
stuff.
that was my
and
initial
then
concern
turned
when
into
she
it.
talked about Gaia in the first place. I'm like, if the Pharaoh plague virus ever gets a hold of Gaia,
We're screwed.
with everything's done.
So
but
it got hold of part of it.
Yeah, so that's actually probably the most likely option is Hades. It got a hold of Hades, and then we know Hephaestus is doing something with the cauldrons. But it looked like his thing was forging, which would make sense with his name anyway. But also there was some comment somewhere made by something in game that was along the line. Oh, that's right. It was from the Vision guy, from the Sickness Eater, the
Yeah.
shaman. Talked about how there was one voice, which I assume was Gaia being led by it, and then at some point there were multiple voices. It wasn't being guided by one thing anymore. So maybe Gaia got taken offline, or Pharaoh
They all
Plague
came
broken into
on.
pieces, but yeah, I think all of those individual pieces are now running, are sending off orders instead of working under
As
a
a unit.
unified thing.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, they have three options: participate, be locked until right before we destroy this facility anyway, or be killed.
Euthanized.
I mean, euthanized is just a nice way of saying killed.
Euthanized usually means painlessly killed. or at least
guess,
more
yeah.
comfortably killed. Not as opposed to being like murdered.
Right. For debriefing after presentation 2. Ooh.
So that was basically talking about, everything is their choice. Make sure that you're here to support them on other options they are. Really try to sell that the importance of the project, but it's of utmost importance that they want to do it for themselves, not that they're coerced or blamed or whatever.
No matter what happens, everything will be their decision. They will not, even if they choose to be euthanized, there will be repeated checks
during the procedure. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Which is the best way to be like, no, I don't want to die. That was crafted by a psychologist.
Rebuild what the damage that I don't feel worthy of it, but I will do it, absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to stress that
so
this
he was
never about
probably
your
going
culpability.
to go to
It is to
Hephaestus
me.
then.
Dr. Sobek, Margot, they were smart to get out of Pharaoh when they did, but not one of us took it as a warning sign. It just told ourselves we weren't cut out for the BTRI cabals. That's the better than rapid innovation. Better at competing, better than the next guy, a better killing machine. It's just amazing how a century and a half of science fiction did nothing to swerve our species from the path of doom. I'm done with that life. I mean, I will work hard, twice as hard to earn this, for my family to have a place in Elysium. I never thought that there could be atonement.
Dude, if that's what he needs to fucking tell himself, let him fucking tell himself that. Like,
I mean, that's the entire point of all these counselors. Yeah, like that will get you to work on it. Done. Okay.
If you're still nauseous. No, the inhibitors have kicked in. I can't feel the back of my tongue. I wish I could tell you I'd believe in this. But the damage is too great, too extensive, too complete. With all respect to Dr. Sobek's work at Miriam, no. No, life doesn't always find a way to keep going. Sometimes it never comes back.
Well, that's what the project's
like
for.
Syzygy East, like the Congo, like Timo, like us. That's our reward? A buried city full of terminal patients waiting out the clock?
You'd grow old together with your loved ones in safety.
I don't have loved ones. I suppose I could start a family?
I'm afraid not. All inhabitants of Elysium will be medically sterilized. A habitat capable of sustaining a starting base of 2,000 individuals for up to 100 years is a huge challenge, Dr. Alpert. If the population grows instead of diminishes, everyone will be dead inside 30 years.
I knew it. I just couldn't bring myself to say the words.
I'm sorry?
Finish it. Medical euthanasia. I want no part of this. I just want it over.
I see. Protocols require a 48-hour waiting period, after which...
Okay, I thought she was gonna
end of conversation.
I thought she was gonna cut her off. I'm like, no, bitch.
Is he to make sure I behave this time?
Security, for your protection.
Inaccessible.
Would you like to discuss how you're feeling?
Isaac.
I'll tell you.
All right.
Surprised. No, flabbergasted. Like my old man would say, flabbergasted. That vein pumping in his forehead. I thought you people were just completely underprepared for a spaceflight project. I can see it's worse. Much worse. Sobek is a total fantasist, a dangerous fantasist. This kind of blue skying, it's... Jesus. I'm sorry we wasted each other's time. I'm ready to leave now.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Everything you're talking about here isn't possible.
I recommend you read the documents regarding your options.
I've seen enough. I'm getting out of here.
No, you're really not.
What are you don't...
Like, no, you're not, dude.
Like, there are many things you may or may not do. Getting out, not one of them.
Yeah. They really, really should have put at the very beginning of this, once you enter that first room, in all honesty.
No, because entering that first room wasn't optional. You understand that, right? Like, they abducted people and brought them here.
I guess that's true.
This is a weirdly intact room.
It's not supposed to be open, though, I don't think.
I'm just looking at, like, there's straight sunlight in there.
Yeah.
But it's
Weird.
hardly rushed over, and it's not stone covered. That's the weirdest room here.
Where's your stone?
Why are you not covered in a fine dwarven sheen? Stranded shackle?
Branded shackles?
Oh. What?
Is that just something I can sell?
I'm like, why do you have handcuffs, my dude? They were purple.
I know, and I have...
Special item, stranded shackles.
This mysterious item is valuable only to the most curious merchant. Shackles made from an unknown smooth material. So it's specifically for that one dude who takes these. Got it.
Alright, I was like, what?
That was my thought. I'm like, why did I pick up the shackles? I figured I'd, like, scan them and be like, oh, hey, look, they had handcuffs. Like...
It's like, or stranded a group? Is there somebody else that got down here already, but then they got out of their cuffs? Like, what is that? Yeah.
Alright.
So much, so heavy, so much information.
It's so much info, dude.
And don't get me wrong, the 80-hour work week sounds like death. But
so does 18 months from now.
yeah, you know. It's definitely better than locking up in prison. That's the worst one. And just straight up offing yourself.
Intruder! Get her!
All right.
Oh, what the?
Whatever you do, don't die now.
Woo!
Well, that's uncool.
Yeah, the groups that are just like, oh, I want to off myself. That's it. Here's the thing. It's like that bothers me. There's a lot of reasons that bother. Wow, you're going far.
I know. I get it, but at the same time, I'm with you. Like,
Well, we can address that in a second. Why are you going so far? Oh. All right, that's going to be a slow walk. We'll be back.
I'm like, I wanted this.
Where are you going?
This is with the fast feet, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it's like, no, I understand the want behind it, the idea, at least a little bit. But it's one of those, like, if there's even the smallest chance of being able to help that happen, because, I mean, as people sitting in the real world, that is a pure piece of science fiction. But
there's nothing else.
Yeah,
Like,
but if there's
that's
literally
the
no
only shot you
other
got.
options,
I've done this before. Just need my focus.
then why not take that? I will say, for me personally, maybe I'd go for the euthanasia after it's done, because
like, I don't know that I want to live through wherever it is where, in Elysian.
The Elysium, just running the clock out till you die thing, does not sound good. There is something about that really, like, I feel a twist inside. Like, nope, you get to.
You did all you could.
Yeah.
You don't need to take up more resources.
Yeah.
Peace out.
That's just, that feels gross to me for some reason, which is weird because,
Is it because of the limited people? Like, if they could do more people?
No, it's the fact that's a one-way trip.
too
There's
much
no.
already.
If it was like, even if it was a smaller group of people, but we're gonna be like, all right, and you can repopulate. Not a problem. It's the fact that everyone there is just running a clock down till they die. It's like, well, and then what's the point? Like, I know that was the one doctor's thing, is like, there's no hope for this project, I just want to die now. I disagree with that, but like, after the work's done, I apparently have kind of a similar feeling. It's like, I'm literally just running the clock out till I die with no preservation of anything going forward, so why?
So why?
And because
Which I get.
It's not just a why. There's a little bit of gross there for some reason, and I'm gonna have to figure that out. But
it is art.
her.
In a way. An expression on the grand.
Oh no, not her. It was the different person.
But there is so much unfairness. Why was I chosen? Was it decided by committee? By algorithm?
Both.
My family will be saved because I happen to graduate in art history? Is this right?
You're a historian, bitch.
Christina Suve?
Is this right? That's not how the world is.
Right?
I met a man, another historian. His fields are Bauhaus and the New Materialists. But he once attended one of my talks. Another unfair chance. of all the many people in that auditorium, that we should both be here now? And yet, I feel more accepting of my fate. No, it is not fair, not at all. But for the sake of my family, for the sake
I forgot about that
art,
aspect of it.
Art is
Yeah.
alive. It must be able to speak from beyond history and echo in the future, not perish into oblivion. This opportunity, I must do this.
And that was one of my favorite bits from Mass Effect 2.
Mhm.
This is going to sound really random until I explain it. Your science/medical officer is great. Morden Solus. Love that character.
Right.
He's amazing. But he was like a legitimate genius among a race of geniuses, and so he's got knowledge in all kinds of things from, assassination, botany, science, chemistry, all sorts of medical, all sorts of things. But he was also fond of the arts because you could tell a lot about a culture and a people from their art. So when you find out about the enemies for the group of the collectors, and you find out that they are just basically biomachines, they're just engineered things that do a job. They don't really have a people or a culture, or barely have a consciousness. He's like really offended by it, and he was onto it quicker than other people. He's like you can tell because of the way everything around them is built. They don't have art, they don't have music, they don't have culture. Nothing they have is designed ergonomically for their comfort. It's all precision and what's most efficient, which is not how any culture designs itself. And he was like, looked at this thing as like just as something that just needed to be stamped out. Like this is kind of abomination thing. If you have things that are alive but not really, and have no way to just lift themselves up and even become something if they were freed, is like it's a travesty. And so you have this lady here is like, no, you can't just let that die. It was a very Morden Solus kind of thing.
That and also the family thing. I think that legitimately that would be the big kicker for me is...
I hadn't thought about that.
That is the big thing. It's like, would I be willing, if it meant to take care of my family? Kinda.
Yeah, that'd be the one that's like, I hope I could discuss it with them at that point, since work's all done anyway. It's like, can I
Agreed.
ask? Like,
can
you
we
cool?
we'll go stand and just die in the field,
Now,
like
those lame FBI black
if we
chances
decide that what we need to
Mockingbird
do.
back in the
But
day,
yeah,
I enjoyed schooling them, but maybe I went in too hard on this poor counselor. She was cute and just going down a checklist after all. Couldn't expect her to see how ridiculous Zero D's ambitions are. God's own budget thrown at a kid playing with a hologram sculptor? Palms up, honey. I'm just calling it like it is. Hey, look, Mom, I'm making nature. Now, if nature is so important, why not let nature take its course? Extinction? That's natural. Zero Dawn? No, ma'am, that ain't. Heck, it's so unnatural to be called an abomination back home, and you know it. That's why you're hiding it.
No, it's not. That's not why.
That's not why at all.
The inside of her cheek. Bad habit. She chewed one of her nails, too. Just one. Not your day, was it, little sweet pea? Saw her
What does he
quarter
do?
Slipping away. Said, I assume you intend to decline the assignment, Mr. Tate. You kidding me? 18 months hard labor in exchange for 30 years lounging around Elysium watching porn? Sign me up.
Oh my gosh! What a guy!
wow,
Oh.
This is stupid. This is moronic. This is unmoral. This is unokay.
It's not
So
gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Who fucking cares? So you're not gonna do it? Oh, you're kidding me. Like a year and a half, and then I get like 30 plus years of being able to just lounge around and vap? Yeah, let's go.
Do whatever I want when this guy's clearly been like running from the law for however long.
At least 18 months, if
He's
not
like,
longer.
Sure, let's do it.
Wow.
That's all the time we have for today.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I just want to know what he does. Like,
right?
What
Like,
does,
what is his
what does
specialty?
the international criminal who's been on the run for a while bring to this? Like, I want to know what he does.
Go ahead and leave us a like. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for more Let's Plays. Check out our other channel for gaming lore, link in the description. Thank you to all of our patrons for continuing to make these series possible. So much thank you. And we will see you in the next episode. In the meantime, this has been True
True
Masters,
Masters
and
and
Morons.
Morons. Signing off.